Good morning, good morning, good morning. So we took a little hiatus from Tanya. We went to the Gateway of Trust. I didn't realize how many months I put into this Gateway of Trust. So we started actually last year in June. So I think it's time for me to go back to Tanya. I like to go back to Tanya, and because I think we covered it. He continues. It's hard to understand in the Gateway of Trust what he always wants to bring out and continue in his repetition. So it's even the book that was printed doesn't explain exactly what he repetition the same things over and over and over again. So I think we exhausted the issue. I'm going to I never exhaust trust. We always need to work on Amunah B'Tachon. Yeah. But Tanya has it all. We can learn Tanya and we can acquire everything from it. The beauty, I'm learning Tanya for many, many years, and I never get tired of learning Tanya and teaching Tanya, because as you learn Tanya, you learn this book, you always find something new. You always find a new entity, a new knowledge, a new expression. Therefore, by Chassidim, we actually learn the Tanya a whole year. Every year we finish Tanya, and the next year we start the Tanya again, and we do it a year over and over and over again. Because by Chassidim, Tanya is called the Torah Shebiksav of Chassidus. Just like the Chumash, we go over and over and over again. The Tanya is the written law of Chassidut. It's what the Alter Rebbe, the founder of Chabad Chassidus, wrote for all of Chassidim and for the world. And the Alter Rebbe writes in his introduction that this book, this Tanya, has within it any kind of a dilemma that you might have in life, especially spiritual dilemmas. If you're gonna open the Tanya, you're gonna learn this Tanya, you're going to find the solutions. You're gonna find the answer. So in general, we have one question. Actually, I'll give you 3 questions that the Tanya surrounds itself with, and these are the questions that we all ask. First of all is, who am I? Who am I? Mi ani. Mi ani, who am I? Who am I? What am I? It's a question. Like, what am I? Who am I? That's it. Not even forget about the next question. Why am I? It's another question. Why am I? So who am I? Why am I? Maybe if I would know who I am, I would know why I am. Right? And if I know who I am, why I am, maybe and give the third answer, how can I have joy in life? Who am I? Why am I? And now why am I not happy? Why am I not satisfied? Why am I troubled? If I know who am I and what am I should not have any troubles. I should not have any anxieties. I should not have any jealousies. I should not have any issues in life. Why? Because I know who I am and I know why I am. 2 very important questions that we all ask each other, and which I believe is the beginning of all problems in life. People don't know who they are. They don't know who they are. They know their names. They know their professions. They know their families. They don't know who they are. And that's why Baruch Hashem, psychologists are making a good living, because people are trying to find themselves, who they are. And this is the teaching of the Tanya. This is the teaching of the Tanya. And the truth is, what you were yesterday is not today. According to Chassidut, what you were yesterday is not today. And what you're today is not going to be tomorrow. So the Tanya, as I put over here the introduction to the Tanya before the first page. The Alter Rebbe says, I hope you got it in those that are on Zoom. I hope you got it in the email. They sent it out from the office, the copy of this. And the Alter Rebbe says, I called this book the book of the middleman, the Beinoni, compiled of sacred books from the sages, exalted saints, whose souls are in Eden, are in paradise, based on the verse. So I've got a chumash to tell you the whole verse. Actually, it's a beautiful 3 verses in the Torah. There's this in the book of Deuteronomy, in the Torah, in chapter 30, verse 11. 11, 12, 13. These are the verses. Moshe Rabbeinu turns to the Jewish people. He's actually, this is the last three parshas. Sovereign, Vayelech, and Hazinu. Right? Last 4 parshas. So Moshe Rabbeinu is at he's almost dying. This is his last drasha that he said to the Jewish people. And he says the following statement. Ki ha-mitzvah hazos, for this commandments, which I command you today. This is not concealed from you. It's not something that is, above and beyond. It's not far away from you. Don't think you have to fly to India to acquire this. This mitzvah, this Torah is not in the heavens. Lamer, that you would say, that I need to go to find out who I am. That's the word. I need to go send the Hubble telescope up 15 million miles to figure out who I am. Right? I don't gotta go very far in the heavens. Right? We all want to go to heaven. It seems like even today, there's an excitement to go to heaven, right? To go up to the moon, to go to the moon, to get up in a spacecraft. Everybody has a desire. No, I'm going to go up to heaven. I'm going to take it, and I'm going to have to go someplace far and hear it. It's actually not in heaven. I don't have to travel. I don't have to go over the Atlantic. I don't have to go to Israel to acquire this knowledge. I don't have to go someplace else. Who will take me over the river? Bring us this Torah. Bring us this knowledge. And I will listen to it and I'll do it. So now we come to verse 14, which the whole Tanya is based upon. So now I just gave you the deduction, because Moshe Rabbeinu is building up he's trying to get the attention of the people, right? Psych him up, and then he gives him the verse. Rather, this Torah, this thing, these mitzvahs are very near to you. They are very near to you. You know how near to you they are? They are in your mouth. They are in your heart. To do. Yiddishkeit, God, spirituality, who I am is right in you. You don't have to go far to find out who you are. That's all you need to do is know who you are. You have to just go a little deeper. You have to just go a little bit deeper. You don't have to go far away. You have to look within yourself, and you're going to find who you are. You're going to find out very easily who you are. And if you'll know who you are, you'll know why you are. And if you'll know who and why you are, you'll be satisfied. You'll be happy, and you'll have self-confidence. You'll have self-worth. You'll have a purpose in life. Your life will change. Your life will change. And the truth is that if we learn the Tanya, our lives will change. If we learn the Tanya and we understand the Tanya, just listen to the words of the Alter Rebbe, our lives will change. There's no question about it. That through the learning of the Tanya, each and every one of us that will learn the Tanya will change our lives, will change our attitudes, will change the way we think, because the Tanya will tell you who you are, and the Tanya will tell you why you are, and therefore that will change your life. So the Rebbe, Alter Rebbe says, it's based on this verse. Ki karev elecha, for the exceedingly near to you in your mouth and your heart to do. That's the whole Tanya based on this verse of chapter Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 14, to explain clearly how it's exceedingly near in a lengthy and short way.
In a what?
In a length, what do you think? In a lengthy and short way. Right? There is right. This is based on a famous statement in the Gemara. The Gemara says once a Roman soldier came to a fork in the road, and both of them said to Jerusalem. He asked the child, which way to Jerusalem? He said, the one to the right, or whatever, the one to the right is a short but lengthy way. The one to the left is a lengthy but short way.
Oh, yeah.
So he was a Jerusalem child, so everything is not, he can't answer correctly. So the guy said, I want to go to lengthy but short, I'll go to short but lengthy. So he took the short but lengthy way, and he realized it might be a short way, but there was no road. So it was very close, but there was a mountain, right? How do you get up a mountain? With a horse and carriage. So he went back and he took the lengthy, but the short way. We are always looking for shortcuts, right? That's it. We are always looking to do things ASAP. We're the world of pills. Take a pill, bingo, right? You have a problem, take a pill and finish, right? Nobody wants to go the lengthy route. You got to do exercise. You got to have self-restraint. You got to go and work on it. No, we're looking for the short. Well, really, it's not a short way. Really, it's a short fix, but it's a lengthy way. Don't worry, we're all the same. Trust me. We're all in the same boat. So in a lengthy and short, the Alter Rebbe says the mind is a lengthy way. So it's a lengthy way because it's in contemplation, meditation. You got to think about this. You got to understand it. You got to work a little bit hard on it. But trust me, if you'll take the journey, it's going to be a short way. It's going to end off to be a short way because it's a smooth way. It's a smooth way because knowledge, to be able to learn and to listen and to contemplate and to argue, and it's a beautiful way. Jews love to argue anyway. So it's a beautiful way to learn this concept. And therefore, that's why I say coming to the table is better. But if you have any questions on the Zoom, whoever's on Zoom here, you're welcome to unmute yourself and ask a question, because that's the way we learn. It's a longer way of learning, but it's ultimately going to affect us in a shorter kind of a fashion. Because if he does have an emotional, I know you're going to ask the question. So I do right away, Jenny. That's the question. Okay. So it's a Baruch Hashem. It's a short way. Yeah, have a question already? I just started yet. Yeah, I have a question. What's the question?
Oh, it's so funny asking, but you just invited it, so I'm going to take advantage. It sounds so wonderful to me, like, who am I? I'm going to figure out who I am. That's my question. What in the world does that mean?
Yeah, well, wait. You'll see.
What it means when I'm asking, who am I? Why am I? But starting with who am I? What am I? I need a little bit more elaboration on that, because I don't know I don't really know what that means.
Good question. But that's a good question. It's a good question. I'll tell you why it's a good question, because nobody knows who they are.
That's true.
And most of the people you ask, who are you? It says, I'm a man, I'm a woman. I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I am a rabbi, I'm an accountant, I'm a lady gay, I'm retired. Everybody, but that's not who you are. Really, it's a very deep question who I am. It's a question that is the basis of all questions, and therefore the Tanya is going to teach us. It's going to be a long way to teach us who I am, not who I think I am, not who even I say I am, but who truly am I, what I am. And that's the struggle, I believe, in most of our lives. that we struggle with, this question, that who am I? And it might be the answer to all our questions. And it's not an easy answer. I'm not saying that this answer is very easy, because you need to really understand and to comprehend what the Torah says who you are, what the Torah tells you who you are. And the God who created you knows exactly who you are. So it's the most difficult question that we ask, and it's the most greatest struggle that we all have. And that's what we have doubts in life, and we have not such great self-worth in life, etc. Because even though we might be great doctors and great lawyers and great accountants, great rabbis, we still have a question of who we are. And we still doubt, if we don't know who we are, then why are we? And what are we doing here? I'm not getting any satisfaction from being the great rabbi. I'm not seemingly getting a satisfaction from being a great mother or a great father. I'm not seemingly getting great satisfaction. So, because I really don't know who I am. So the question is an important question. And the answer is going to be, as the Alter Rebbe says, it's going to be a little lengthy, the answer. So you have to hang in there. We've been learning Tanya here for 30 years. And slowly it's penetrating. I say, in my own mind, as I've learned Tanya, slowly but surely it penetrates my mind, and it gives me some kind of a clarification, truly who I am in the times that I need to bring about in myself the aspect of who I am. But hang in there, and together we're gonna work this question through with the aid of the whole.
To give us a little example of what that means, like a person who knows.
Why don't we wait for Tanya itself? Why don't we wait for Tanya? Tanya is going to give you the clarification. It's going to give you it's going to ask the question, and it's going to give you the clarification. But the Alter Rebbe is going to take his time. So he worked very hard in this Tanya. The Tanya was ultimately printed in 1779. And he worked every letter that the Alter Rebbe, Alter Rebbe says every letter that he put in Tanya, he worked hours upon hours. It took him hours, each and every letter that he put in Tanya, and the letter that he used and the letter that he didn't use in the Tanya. So he was extremely, very, very concise and very clear, and he wanted to bring out an unbelievable teaching. And as Alter Rebbe says in his introduction, which is not over here, that I've written a book that every person, I made sure that every person's question, because who I am is not a question, is not a one brush fits all that question. Every person has that question itself in a different kind of a feeling. Because who I am is an emotional question, like you just said. Even the question brings about an emotional expression of feeling in a person. Who am I? And the answer, you can go to a psychologist, you can go to a psychiatrist, but self-understood as a Jew, we want to know what the Torah says who I am. We want to know the true I am. And we want to know what God says who I am. So what does God say who I am? And if God can answer that question, which God does, then we can maybe figure out why I am. The truth is, the Eibishter first created man. Then he gave them the Torah. Many thousands of years after the creation of man, he gave them the Torah. And the Zohar writes that the reason why God did that, even though the Torah was written before the creation of man. So why wouldn't the Torah be given before, or right when Adam and Eve were created? Why wasn't the Torah given to them? Why did God wait till year 2340 whatever to give the Torah? He should have given it right when he created man, Adam and Eve. Okay, here's the Torah. Start doing with the Torah. Have a good day, right? Because the Torah was already written. So the Eibishter went to first the rectification of man. Man should go through all his dilemmas. He should fix up who he knows, who he is. Then you can give him why. Then you give him the purpose. And so too, the Eibishter doesn't give a child the obligation of Yiddishkeit till he's 13 and ultimately till he's 20. Because God wants first to become a mensch. know who you are. Know what you are. Know who you are. Now we can go to what you're obligated to do if you know who you are. If you don't know if I don't know who I am, that's why I struggle with God. That's why I struggle with the commandments. What am I? What am I that I have to do this? What am I? Well, why do I have to do it and the guy and Ivan out there doesn't have to do it? Right? So why are you picking on me? What does Fiddler on Roof say? Choose somebody else once in a while. Right? Why you choose me? Choose somebody else. Right? So first we have to work on who I am. What is the makeup of me? And every person is different. The Eibishter created every person individually. It's a Gemara. That's a Gemara. The Gemara says that when a guy who makes coins, right? He makes coins, right? So he makes a form, right? He makes a form for the coin. But once a mold, right? But once he makes that mold, now he makes millions upon millions of coins. There's not a mold for each coin. We make a mold, and now we print millions of coins that look exactly the same because we have one mold that makes millions of coins. The Eibishter makes each and every person individually different.
A different mold.
A different mold. A different mold for every person. A different character, a different thought. Every person has ain't they same Shabbos. No two people think the same. And the Eibishter create, if no two people think the same, that means that every neshama is different. Every soul, every person ultimately has their own, what do they call the finger mark? What do they call it? The fingerprint. Every person has a different fingerprint. Every person is different. Then every person has his personal journey, right? And that's why, in one hand, it makes it difficult that, right? Because really, why don't I just live for somebody else? I really cannot live for somebody else. Another person can be an example for me. It can be an inspiration, but ultimately that other person is not me, and I'm not him. That's why the Eibishter created tzaddikim in the world, that they should inspire us. They're not there to do something for us. They're not there to make us. We are our own beings. And every one of us needs to be inspired to be all you can be. Yeah. You know that there's a thing, right? Be all you can be. Don't be somebody else, because you're not somebody else. So therefore, the Eibishter created each and every one of us individually. The Alter Rebbe said, I wrote a book that every person can find himself in this book. Only the Alter Rebbe can say that statement, right? That every person, if they would learn this book, they will be able to find their personal journey of who they are in this book. That's why it's so important to learn this book. Okay, you ready? Many of us have done the Tanya, and it's not so we'll be able to go quickly. We'll be able to find out who I am very quickly. Okay, ready? Chapter 1 of Tanya. Ready? Yeah. Okay. Tanya, it's taught. We can do the English.
Yeah.
It's taught in Nida, chapter 3. We learned in Nida. Nida is Gemara. In the Gemara of Nida, an oath is administered for him before birth, warning him. Gemara says that when a child is going to be born, 40 days before the child is going to be born, 40 days before conception, means the Eibishter knows when there's going to be conception.
40 days before
conception.
40 days before birth.
No, birth, conception.
Yeah, you get together.
40 days you sit there. The Eibishter says, okay, I'm going to be sending an neshama down to the world. I know in 40 days I'm sending a neshama down to the world. Calls the neshama, tells the guardian of souls, the angel, the guardian of souls, right? From the world of whatever, Bri, Yitzira, we'll learn that. The souls come from different worlds, different levels. He calls the soul up. He says, okay, Zalman, Yanko, Shmero, Rachel, Leah, You're going down, my friend. Right? The soul says, "You're kidding me? I don't want to go down.
Yeah.
Right? I'm having a good life here.
Right.
Why would I want to go down to this world?" Abel says, "Okay, you have no choice. I'm forcing you. I'm setting your soul down, whether you like it or not. And I'm setting your soul down. And I'm going to tell you exactly what you're going to be, who you're going to be, who you're going to be, who you're going to marry, who you're going to, your children are going to be. I'm going to tell you your whole life.
Whew.
Right? I'm giving you your whole life. This is your life. This is your journey. Nothing's hidden. Soul knows exactly his journey. And but nevertheless, I'm sending you to a body. Oh, now you're gonna get free choice, even though you know your journey.
Really?
But now your body is gonna give you something that might change your journey,
I'll say.
or might make your journey
More difficult.
more difficult, or better. I don't know, or easier, or the opposite. And therefore, there's one thing that I cannot tell you. It's not going to change the journey. What's going to A to Z is going to happen. But I cannot tell you one thing that what you're going to be or not going to be, and that is a tzaddik or a rasha. I can't tell you are you going to be righteous or wicked. So there you have the question. There you have one answer to who you really are. Righteous or wicked. And a righteous and wicked over here does not mean a murderer or righteous and wicked is your attitude. You're going to have a positive attitude or you're going to have a negative attitude. I'm not going to control that concept. I'm going to leave it up to you. I'm going to leave it up to you and the body to make the choice the way you're going to think. Your attitude in life. Are you going to be righteous, which is ultimately going to make you a righteous person? Are you going to be wicked, which will ultimately, chas v'shalom, make you wicked? You're going to do miserable, you do avedas, and you'll be a miserable person. Right? Be righteous, but therefore, God says to the soul, I want you to be righteous. I want you to overcome. I'm begging you. And I'm going to make you an oath that you should make an oath that you're going to be righteous. So therefore, raise your hand and say, I do, right? Say the rest of the stuff, right? On that statement, the Gemara says, Hakol b'dei shamayim, chutz mi'yirah shamayim. Everything is in the hands of heaven. Besides, yirah shamayim, fear of God. You're going to fear me, you're going to respect me, or you're going to tell me, no, you're going to be righteous, you're going to be wicked. What is the attitude you're going to have? What is the attitude you're going to have? And that's so the knowledge, you can be the smartest guy, and therefore we find in the Talmud, you can be great sages, you can still be righteous or wicked. Your brains is not going to ultimately change your heart if you're not going to want to do that. Okay? So you can be a very smart person, be a very wicked person. Be a very smart person, and be a very righteous person. That's up to you. That's up to you. That is your ultimate free choice. So that's already, the Alter Rebbe gave you already a hint to who you are. That's the Rambam writes. The difference between a man, human being, and creation is one thing, and that's free choice. When God says, I made man in his image, is his free choice.
Say it again.
God says, I created man in my image, is free choice. Is bechira chafshis. Free choice. You can be righteous, or you can be wicked. You can be positive, you can be negative. You can love, you can hate. And you can actually love and hate at the same time. And you can do everything. You can be better than an angel or worse than an animal. And there's nothing else in the world that can do that. So a lion that rips another animal up is not wicked. A human being that rips another person up is wicked. Why? Why can the lion rip up an animal? We say, wow, great lion, great lion. Look at that. Because that's a lion. That's the way he was created.
Instinct.
And that's the way he's created with his instinct. That's the way he's
He
created.
doesn't have.
But a human being
No.
needs to be greater than an angel. Because he's created in the image of God, which he has a choice to be greater than an angel. And therefore, if a person chas v'shalom does like an animal, we don't praise him, we lock him up in jail. Or as the Torah says,
Oh.
it's time to move on. It's time to go home. Right? If you act worse than an animal, it's time to go home. That's why in general, when the Torah says chayev misa, right? I'm not talking about even about whipping, killing somebody. In the Torah, it seems very, very harsh, right? You do this, cut you off. Right? It sounds a little right. You know, today the parsha, I ate an animal after the 3 days. You're cut off. You have these harsh expressions, which the Gemara says that nobody ever was put to death. Right? It was if you were put to death in the Torah, it was almost impossible to put a person to death. Because how do you know the guy ate pickle? The guy would have to come say in front of you, I ate it. How do you know? The witnesses, and if a guy comes and says himself that he did it, you don't put him to death. In Jewish law, you never put to death on your own admission. It has to be two witnesses. So if a guy comes to court and said, I killed somebody, you don't put him to death. He says, what do you mean? In American law, that's the best.
Yeah.
Right? A guy confesses. He's done. A guy says, I killed somebody. I confess. We don't need anything else. We have a confession. In Jewish law, confession is garnished.
Wow.
Nothing. Ain't another Mason Atzmei Rasha. The Gemara says a person cannot make himself wicked. So we need two witnesses. So that's why it's very hard to put somebody to death. Well, so why does the Torah say all about this? Because the truth is a spiritual death. The Torah is talking about spiritually you're dead. If you can do such a terrible negative thing, it makes difference if somebody puts you to death or not.
Takes you away from the
It's you're cut from the neighbors, you're spiritually dead. What means is you're worse than an animal. Right? You're worse than an animal. A person that can do something, such a terrible thing, and any negative thing in life, then you're worse than an animal because you have taken your choice. I've taken my choice to do something negative. An animal doesn't have choice. I've taken my choice. And that is in this Shavua. The Eibishter asks a person and tells a person, I'm going to make you make a vow that you should be a good person. You should be what I want you to be, what I created you to be. But you should do it on your own free choice. I want you to do it on your own free choice. I don't want anybody to coerce you. I don't want anybody to, I don't want you to be in a dilemma either, right? Because we know in Torah law, if you're in a dilemma, you're pekuch nefesh, you're allowed to do every aveda, right? Right? If you're in a life and death situation, you're allowed to eat today, right? Right? If somebody puts a gun to your head and says, eat the pork, that's gesundheit, right? Eat it. Don't die. Eat it, right? So the Eibishter wants every Jew to do a mitzvah, not because he's coerced, not because somebody's threatening him, because he chooses to do it. He wants to do it. And that's what makes you, that's what makes who you are. I chose it, not because my father, my mother, my grandfather, or Jewish guilt, or all this kind of, that's somebody else. You're living somebody else's life. And you're not in the imprint of somebody else's life. You're not in the imprint of your parents' life. You're in the imprint of God's life. That's it. Let's not get. I'm not a psychiatrist. Okay, let's not talk here about your parents. So we learned today the parsha. You have to fear your parents. You have to love your parents. So we are here because the Eibishter gave us free choice. God created us in His image. The Eibishter says that the only entity in the world has free choice is me, really. And I've given you also the capacity and the capability of free choice. That you can be whatever you want to be. You can be the next Moshe Rabbeinu of the generation. Yeah. Nobody can say that he cannot do that. It can be a tzaddik or Rosh. But this is already a powerful thing, the Gemara says. It's not an easy thing, but it's a powerful thing because ultimately, one of the things that Tanya wanted to accomplish is to put the power back in your hands,
Right, to
Okay.
retire entire.
to get up and realize that that everything is in your hands.
Yeah.
Okay, stop blaming others, stop looking at others, stop pointing to others. The Eibishter puts the power. You have equal power as anybody else.
Wow.
Nobody is more or less powerful than you, than I. It's in my hands. It's up to me. The Rambam says in a different way, every Jew needs to look like he can bring Mashiach, not somebody else. He can bring redemption to the world, not somebody else, not some holy guy out there, not some, every person needs to look like he can make it or break it. It's in your hands. Don't give away your power to anybody else. Don't blame it. The second you start blaming, then you're giving your power to somebody else. The second somebody makes you angry or somebody makes you frustrated or somebody makes you sad, you're giving your power to somebody else. You're basically giving over your life to somebody else. And that's when you don't know who you are. The Torah wants to give, and the Chassidus stuff in the Tanya wants to bring back that every person has his own power. Put the power back in your hands. Yeah. It's a very important thing because the Alter Rebbe wanted to have that every Jew, and Chassidus wanted this, so the Rebbe wanted every Jew should feel like he is Yitzir Kak B'Shkal HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He is a prized creation of God. Yeah, you with me, everybody? Yeah. So even the whole, but be right, be righteous and not wicked. But he continues. Even if the whole world tells you that you are righteous, regard yourself as wicked. Now, that's a contradiction. And this was a major thing that the Alter Rebbe needs to answer, and he will answer this contradiction in the Gemara. So God makes us make a vow to be righteous, and then he tells us, but never feel righteous. Right? Never feel righteous. Never feel completed. Right? When you ever go to a funeral, they say, "Oh, he finished his mission." Never, right? No, I'm not finished my mission. I haven't finished my mission.
Even the dead person.
No, but we should never feel we're complete. Even David HaMelech says in Tehillim, "Chatosi negdi samad," even though he was a tzaddik, he said, "My sins are always in front."
Yeah. Well, but he did.
What?
He did sin.
Right? He did tshuva.
Yeah, he did too.
He did tshuva. So why does he say "Chatosi negdi samad"? But
Well,
right, but in general, in Jewish law, when somebody does tshuva, you're not going to remind them
that's
of a
right.
sin.
But he
Right.
knows about it.
Right? But you yourself needs to know that I'm not complete.
Yeah.
I'm never complete. There's
Right.
no person, as the
What
pasuk
about a
says,
complete
"Ein
tzaddik?
lachat tzaddik asher lo yachta." There's no righteous man who doesn't sin. And the Alter Rebbe will answer that question too. How can you be righteous and say that there's no righteous man who doesn't sin?
What about a complete tzaddik?
Even a complete tzaddik.
Really?
So to the Eibishter, everybody has sin.
It's true.
To the Eibishter, because sin is not that I do something negative. Sin means lacking.
Yeah.
Sin is the concept of lacking. I am missing. I am not a perfect specimen,
Right. Entity.
entity,
Missing.
whatever you want to call it. I'm not, and to the Eibishter, we're not perfect. There's no perfection in the world but God.
Only Hashem is perfect.
That's right. So you don't need, your mission is not to be perfect.
Phew, that's good.
Your mission is
To be the best.
to be the best you can be. And that's what that's my and your perfection. The Eibishter created us, and he said, I want you to be the best you can be. And to be the best you can be is not somebody else's mission. and it's not somebody else's fault, then you cannot do that mission. So the Abish says, it doesn't make a difference who created you. It doesn't make a difference who was there through your journey of life. I'm there, so I created you ultimately. And I is the one who gave you your purpose in life. So therefore, ultimately, I'm the one who gives you that power, or gave you any handicap or any negativity or any struggles. I'm the one who did that, right? Because when you came, Shama came before me, I said to Shama exactly all your struggles and all your headaches and right? Because I'm the opportunity giver. If you want to blame anybody, you need to come to me. Because I'm the one who gave you your parents, and I'm the one who gave you your teachers, and I'm the one who gave you your headaches, and I'm the one who gave you all your hiccups. I'm the one. So therefore, come to me. And that's what we pray to God every day, that God should alleviate any struggles we have in life, because He's the one who gave it to us. But you know what the Abisha says? I gave you something that can overcome all these struggles. If you have a positive attitude, then you'll be, not that you're gonna, maybe the struggles you'll have, but you'll be able to bear them. Maybe enjoy them.
About that.
Doesn't matter. Okay. I heard a voice. A rabbi said, it was the rabbi in Israel, Yerushalayim. His name is Rabbi Biderman. He's a guy who speaks a lot. He's a Lubavitcher. Very motivating speaker. In Yiddish, he speaks in Yiddish and Hebrew. So he said the story last week. I get his motivational things.
That's good for you.
I love it. I love positive.
Yeah.
I always love to hear something positive.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of negative you can hear.
Yeah.
You have to hear this positive. So he said there was a Jew in Yerushalayim, and he said the name, I'm bad at names. He said there's a Jew in Yerushalayim who was very sick. He lived his whole life in a wheelchair. So he just passed away. He was like in his high 90s, whatever. And he said he went to the Shiva, and his son said that even though his father had this, cerebral, I forgot the sickness he had, polio, I forgot what he said. His father was very happy. He was a very happy Jew. Never complained of his own handicap and the way he lived his life in great pain and suffering. And, he was a happy Jew. So he said, I once asked my father, I said, why are you so happy? I mean, look at you. I mean, you look at all the limitations, look at all the struggles, look at all the pain. Why are you so happy? So he said, this is what my father answered me. My father said to me, can you imagine if the whole world, everybody in the world was created like me? If everybody in the world, every man and woman were all like me, would I complain? No, everybody in the world's like that way. But if the whole world had polio, Islam, and everybody was sick like me, would I be sad? No, because everybody's like that. Right. So now, because somebody's not like that, I should be angry. I should be angry at other person. So what makes me angry? That somebody else doesn't have what I have?
No, it's frustration.
Why? If everybody had the same frustration, would I be frustrated? No, we all have the same frustration. We're all the same. The only reason why I have frustration, think about it, is because somebody else doesn't have it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I'm angry. Because somebody else doesn't have it. That's why so what am I angry about? That somebody else should have it? I'm happy. Whatever they gave me, I'm happy. This is a hard thing to understand. But the truth is, if you think about it, if everybody was in the same situation, we would not complain because everybody has it.
Yeah.
So what are we gonna do? And this is part of life, seemingly. But the second somebody has it, doesn't have it, then I say, why do I have it?
Yes, why me?
Why am I frustrated? That guy does not frustrated. So it's only because the other person doesn't have it that I am frustrated. Yeah. So why would I do that? Wow. I'm happy that other people don't have it. And I'm happy, whatever the Eibishter gave me, I'm happy. That's good. No, because there's always something that somebody else has more than me.
Yes.
You're not going to be able to live in a world
Right.
that if it's not health, it's money. If it's not money, it's the guy's family. It's not his family. It's never ending. So I can be frustrated my whole life. If the Abish doesn't say, you know what, I'll give you all the money you want. Okay, now I'm frustrated. I have all the money, but I'm frustrated for the other guy's happiness. Oh, I'll give you all the happiness. Now I'm frustrated about the other guy's health. You know what? You're never ending. It's never ending. So that's why it's important, because the truth is we all have a nefesh habahamis, as the Alter Rebbe is going to say. We all have an emes soul, gives us these frustrations, but it's not real. It's a lack of knowledge and thinking a second and comprehending what are we frustrated about. What are we frustrated about? Okay, let's go further. So I require you to understand. Wait, it's 11 o'clock.
Wow.
This requires to be understood, for it contradicts the mystic dictum. Avos chapter 2. It says in Avos chapter 2, Ethics of Our Fathers, chapter 2, it says, and you shall not be wicked on your own estimation. Al Yira, a person should never say he's wicked. Why does Avos say that? Because that's a depressing kind of thought,
I'll say.
right? It's a depressing kind of thought. When a person says he's wicked, then basically it's either he's going to be depressed, or he's going to say, the heck with it, I don't care.
Yeah.
Seems like it's good if I can, right? So either I have either I'll be depressed, which most of us become depressed because we feel, oh, why are we negative? Why we have all these things? We have all these baggage and we have all this negativity. Or we're going to have the attitude, who cares? I can't get out of this thing. So both of these expressions are not good. Both of them are not good. Both of them are not good. So now we have a bigger dilemma. According to this contradiction, we have even bigger dilemma. So who am I? Who really am I? Am I righteous? Am I wicked? What am I supposed to think right now when I know that I have negative things in my life? I know the skeletons in the closet. And then the Mishnah says, I have to be happy. Alter Rebbe made the question a little bit more deeper, in essence. Who am I? Is I know that I am my positive and my negative, my attitude in life. But I know I have both attitudes. I'm a Jekyll and a Hyde. I know I have both attitudes. So now who am I really? What am I supposed to do with both of these attitudes? What am I supposed to do with this chesed and gevura, this kindness and severity that's in my life? How am I supposed to deal with this contradiction? Because now that you told me who I am, now how do I deal with that who I am? Oh, and really who I am? Am I righteous or am I wicked? Furthermore, if a man considers himself to be wicked, he will be grieved in that heart and depressed, and will not serve God with joy, with content of heart. Well, if he's not perturbed by this, self-appraisal may lead him to irreverence.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Can you say that again?
Say it again.
The last part, just the last part. I got it.
I'll say the last part again. But you can have it, it's right in front of you. So furthermore, if a man considers himself to be wicked, he'll be grieved at heart. Most of us, that's guilt.
Yeah.
And depressed, and will not be able to serve God with joy and with content of heart.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if he's not perturbed, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
By this self-appraisal, it may lead him to be irreverence. Right? He'll get worse.
Yeah.
He'll say, listen, I'm wicked.
What
If
the
I'm
heck?
wicked,
I'll give it
I
all.
might as well be wicked
Enjoy
and
it.
enjoy life. And that's God forbid.
That's
So
right.
why bother the whole thing? Correct.
That's right.
Correct. So these are the two bad responses. So what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? So, however, this matter will be understood after preliminary discussion of 53 chapters.
Oh, yeah, we have to wait that long.
I told you, now that ever started off, it's a long but short way. So we're
Yeah, years to go through
gonna
this book. There's no right.
That's so
There's
funny.
there's no library.
think about it. You cannot leave this world until you finish the whole Tanya. So what's the rush? I don't want to. I'm not rushed. Okay, my friends, it was a great learning with you,
Yes.
and we will continue next week in Mitzvah Hashem. Sunday, we will continue the Tanya, and I don't want to rush it because as the Alter Rebbe says, it's a long but short way. We should learn it. If you have any questions, you may ask. And maybe now is not time to ask questions because really we're in the question. So the answer is hopefully it's gonna penetrate us. And the main thing is, the most important thing is to learn Tanya and to understand the Tanya, to understand. And the truth is, there are many teachers in Tanya, and there's many lessons in Tanya. You can search it out on the internet, Chabad.org, and you should learn Tanya from many people because every person will give you some other angle
Yes.
and another way to look at it. So there's not only one teacher in the world, and it's a pleasure and honor that we come together every Sunday. We learn together Chassidus and Tanya, and I hope that we inspire each other in the learning of Tanya. So I hope to see you next week, and I hope that you invite other people to come and learn together with us Tanya every single week. Have a wonderful day. We also learn Tanya every single day, and that's at 8 a.m. We learn Tanya, Chumash and Tanya every day. I wish you a
Online.
wonderful
Online.
online every day.